How's it going, guys? Big Blue from Big Blue Gaming here. Today I bring you guys a moze build that is almost unkillable. With 200 plus shields, she's a god. Let's get into it. So as you can see, I still do plenty of damage in this build. I still have no problem surviving. As you can see, my shield, it goes up almost instantly, and I don't have any health. That is from the Deathless that I'm using. But the shield that I'm using is going to be that Plus Ultra. Since that shield has entered the game, it has been one of the best shields in the game by far. It has so much versatility with so many builds. And stay tuned for an Iron Bear build with this same shield and probably the new class mics. I feel like I can get some pretty crazy damage out of that build and have some great synergy. But back to the build that we're doing today. It does great single target damage, great mobbing damage, great AoE damage, and you almost never go down. The reason for that is going to be that I'm using a Bloodletter. With the Bloodletter and the Plus Ultra shield, you know the Plus Ultra doubles your health. But with the Bloodletter, it's going to double your shields. That, coupled with a Deathless, will give you crazy shields, and if you add a Phalanx Doctrine to it, you're almost unkillable. Every grenade I throw is going to help my shields increase faster, and I'm going to do more damage with every kill that I get because of the Phalanx Doctrine. As you can see, I'm never in any real danger here. I'm kind of just cruising. Yes, this isn't my highest damage moze build, but this is probably honestly, I want to say one of my better moze builds that I have done, because it's not all about damage. It has quite a bit of survivability, so you can do anything in the game with this. I ran the takedown back to back to back on true takedown, and I think I died twice from all 5 of my runs. I think that's pretty good. Yes, as you can see, the damage is a little lackluster compared to some of the other builds that you may see out there, or my own builds, to be honest with you. But this build is more about being able to survive, being that unkillable tank, so you don't have to worry about anybody getting in your way or anybody stopping you. So I originally seen a version of this build from a YouTuber by the name of Moxie. He did a build where he used the flipper, and he used a 150 rad anointment, and I did not know that it double applied URAD. So I'm using a URAD one, and I'm capitalizing off of that radiation damage to increase my radiation damage. The one major difference I wish I could have done with this build would have been if I could have got something to do with radiation on my artifact. I do have a radio head, but that doesn't help me because I won't be doing sliding melee damage. But this whole time, me killing the Valkyries, and now me showing you that I'm killing Wotan, I didn't really hop in and out of Iron Bear except for this time. So the shield that I'm using, the Plus Ultra, it has that extra radiation damage so I can kill Wotan even faster. If you don't like that version of the shield, I do have one with that extra 75% shield. I've seen the shields go up to like 600k with that one, but with the one that I'm using, I got it up to 300, which I feel like 300k is plenty of shields, so you don't have to sacrifice your damage for those shields. After this Wotan kill, I will be going over the build so you can see what I did, and you can see how you can tweak it to fit your playstyle better to see what works for you. But I really enjoyed this build. I had a lot of fun playing it. I had a lot of fun making it, and I just want to say thank you to Moxie for just showing me that the Plus Ultra shield could be used this way, and it opened me up to so many different moze builds that I can do. Like I was saying earlier, I'll probably be doing a straight Iron Bear build, because I feel like Iron Bear could get some really good use out of that shield. That shield with Phalanx Doctrine, you could probably have your shields well over 6 million. I've seen my shields be over 5 million, so I know that the shields are able to go even higher if I was to focus on that instead of focusing on trying to make a complete build this way. So stay tuned for that. Boom, takedown confirmed. Easy, quick. I wasn't even close to being endangered. But now that I've shown you the damage and the potential of this build, I want to go over the actual build so we can talk about that. And if you do have any questions, leave those in the comments. Alright guys, let's go over the build. So let's go over the weapons first actually. So the main weapon that you're going to use is going to be a Stark Flipper. It doesn't have to be Stark, the flipper is what's important. The one that I'm using is a URAD flipper. So the URAD double applies to the flipper, plus you get short fuse for every single projectile from this gun. Also, I have a consecutive hits one here. This consecutive hits one is just good if you want to try to build that or ramp up your damage. Spade can be changed out with anything else. It doesn't fit the way I wanted it to fit for this build. I really wish I could have got it to work though. So like I was saying earlier, shields wise, gains plus ultra is the shield you want. I'm using one with radiation, but I also have this one here that has that 75% increase in shields and in health like I was telling you, which is pretty much 150% increase. Also have a Bloodletter. So the Bloodletter is the reason that's 150% increase in your shields. I have a really good Bloodletter here. I have one with splash damage, weapon damage, and SMG damage. Like I was saying earlier, that Radiohead does not matter on this, but that death is what matters. You also want to try to get one with some area of effect, SMG, or radiation damage. If you can get all three, that's awesome. Cloning Maddening Tracker, of course. This is how I'm getting my shields back. Every time I hit them with those grenades, instead of getting health, I get shields because of Vampire. Going over Shield of Retribution first. First thing I have is Armored Infantry. Have that for that gun damage and that damage reduction. And your shields will always be up, so you don't have to worry about not having this bonus. Next up I have Vlad Off Ingenuity. Vlad Off Ingenuity just for that shield recharge rate and that max shield. Shock damage doesn't really matter as much. Looking over at the thin red line, 80% health is reserved. This plus Deathless gives me almost a double in my shields. Drowning in Brass, can't go wrong in Drowning in Brass. You're gonna get that extra damage per stack you have. Fire rate doesn't really matter to us as much. We're using experimental munitions just for that extra damage. Behind the Iron Curtain for that shield recharge rate. Desperate Measures just for that gun damage up to 83%, and with me using a Deathless, I'm gonna always be getting that bonus. Phalanx Doctrine, this is your major grab from this skill tree. This is gonna give you that 14% gun damage and 21% shields per stack, and you can have unlimited stacks. This is how you grow your shield to be crazy up to that 300k I was telling you about. Next in the Bottomless Mags tree, I have Cloud of Lead, just for that bonus incendiary damage. That is Mo's main thing. Stoke the Embers for that incendiary damage. Redistribution just so I can get that ammo regen and health regen, which applies to my shields. And Demolition Woman, Fire in the Skagden, excuse me, just for that fire damage. Grizzled is here just because I had to get down 2 short fuse. Using Stainless Steel Bear because that Iron Bear damage plus 20% actually applies to you also, so it's really useful for you. Torque Cross Promotion just for that splash damage and that splash radius. Sometimes you will down yourself from this, but most of the time you're able to shoot in a group of enemies and kill all the enemies with just one shot. It's really, really nice. Means of Destruction for that ammo chance again, and grenade chance. That's how I'm able to keep my shields up, is with my grenades. So I didn't put any points in to pull the Holy Pin. I didn't see the point. I'm not looking for critical hits with it. I'm not using a Minesweeper, so it doesn't matter. I'm using Vampire. I have 4 points in here just to make sure I'm constantly getting my shields up. This is what pretty much makes you unkillable with this build. 2 works if you want to use 2 and put those points somewhere else in this build, but you need enough points in this skill tree to get enough down 2 short fuse. Explosive Punctuation again, just so I could get farther down the tree. I'm not really sure if Explosive Punctuation or Grizzled are better when it comes to action skill cooldown, but I do have a little points in both of those. They both do the same thing, but I'm not sure which one has the better cooldown. But Short Fuse is your major grab from this tree. This is what you get a lot of your damage. You need that. And it applies, like I said earlier, it applies to every single projectile from the flipper. And URAD again is applied twice, so it increases your damage significantly. It's hard to do this without it. I believe I said this earlier, but like you can switch shields if you want to have more survivability. Go with this shield. That is the build. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Blue Crew, as always, you already know. Stay medicated, stay elevated. To the next one, guys. Peace.